What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered on BlackTideTV, and in the video today I think it's time that we take a look at the state of supply drop weapons in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. I've compiled a full list of all of the ranged and melee weapons added to Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered supply drop system so far, and I'd like to compare those weapons to weapons that have existed previously in the Call of Duty franchise, particularly in the Modern Warfare series, so other weapons from Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, and then we'll take all that information and kind of daydream about what Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered could have become. So, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, when it was first launched, was a glorified add-on for Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. If you bought Infinite Warfare in certain editions, I believe Legacy, Legacy Pro, or Digital Deluxe, you were given Modern Warfare Remastered free of charge. Or, I guess because you're spending the extra money for those editions, it's not exactly free of charge, but you get what I mean. Modern Warfare Remastered was nothing apart from a remaster. There were no supply drops, there were no new cosmetic items, there were no new real big differences. It was sold as a remaster, as CoD 4 with updated graphics. And that was all well and good until they announced supply drops. And they said, supply drops are going to be in the game, we're going to start making all these changes, there's going to be cosmetic items, and there's going to be new weapons. And at first, those weapons were very much based off of weapons from previous Modern Warfare games, from previous Call of Duty games, weapons that we were used to. Here in the Call of Duty community, we have a very active subset of players who put it upon themselves to break down PC game code files for the current Call of Duty titles. This gives them otherwise inaccessible information for items and weapons that haven't yet been released into supply drops in the game. This makes them the #1 source of information, or made them the #1 source of information for us, before weapons were added into Modern Warfare Remastered. Before any weapon was ever added, they were giving us details on what we could expect. And the details were something very different from what we got. The original XM-LAR was based off the FNFAL from Modern Warfare 2. The original Kamchatka 12 was in the game code referred to as the Striker, which is a shotgun that appeared in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. And of course, the 44 Magnum was the third weapon that we were added in the very beginning of Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. And it's just the 44 Magnum. It's actually one of those weapons that actually survived from previous Modern Warfare games. But the point I'm getting at here is that these weapons were first announced to us as weapons from previous Call of Duty titles. And this made a lot of players, myself included, very excited about the future of Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. The running gag in the Call of Duty community at the time was that Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered could have become so much more. An amazing mashup of all three Modern Warfare series titles into the world's first multi-year Call of Duty game. Modern Warfare Remastered is never directly referred to Call of Duty 4. Instead, it addresses the entire franchise Modern Warfare. The dream was for Modern Warfare Remastered to slowly but surely adopt all of the features, techniques, and intricacies of the other Modern Warfare titles into one sole property. One game with all of the weapons, maps, attachments, perks, everything from all three Modern Warfare titles. A massive undertaking, to say the least. There would be no better guarantee of individual copies flying off of store shelves, and so I'm very surprised that they passed up on this opportunity. When those first three weapons launched, the XM-LAR, the Kamchatka 12, and of course the 44 Magnum, maybe not so much the 44 Magnum, our bubbles were bursted, our dreams were shattered, and we all cried ourselves to sleep, as the XM-LAR and Kamchatka 12 were incredibly new weapons that have never been seen before in the Call of Duty franchise, very extremely loosely based on weapons from Modern Warfare 2. So, instead of having a huge multi-year Call of Duty title with three different sets of weapons and perks and maps and attachments and everything, we now have a bunch of random supply drop weapons, which seems to be a growing problem in the Call of Duty franchise. While a majority of weapons found in supply drops suit the game closely enough, a number of weapons still seem out of place, and the longer a Call of Duty title holds its space in the market, the wackier the weapons and DLC items become. Without further ado, I'll read you the list of current weapons in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. You may be surprised at the number of melee weapons. It's pretty insane. First up, we have the Sickle, then we have Brawler's Brew, which is a bottle, the Hatchet Man Axe, the CQB Bayonet, the Gladiator Sword, Scorpion Sword, Gravedigger Shovel, Cliffhanger Ice Pick, Ump's Hammer, Shamrock Blade, Leprechaun Shillelagh, Thug Wrench, Machete, caveman knife, the sawtooth, the samurai sword, the diabolical karambit knife, the mechanic, which is a wrecking bar, the title karambit knife, the nauticus harpoon, the sarsaparilla bottle, the point knife, the cleaver, danger close, which is an RPG, the enforce, which is a nightstick, the barber, which is a straight edge razor, the bludgeon, which is another form of nightstick, and the tribal staff make up the melee weapons. Tribal staff? Really, Modern Warfare Remastered? How does that have anything to do with anything? I'm not really sure. Moving on to ranged weapons, these ones are a little more suited despite the most recent weapons, which we're going to get into in a moment. The XM-LAR assault rifle, which was supposed to be based on the FNFAL, which of course didn't happen. The 44 Magnum is returning from Modern Warfare 2 and 3. The Kamchatka 12 shotgun, the BOS 14 assault rifle, the MAC 10 SMG. We saw a MAC 10 or a MAC 11 in a Black Ops game, but never before in a Modern Warfare game. The PKM LMG is very loosely based on the PKP Pechneg from Modern Warfare 3. The Fang 45 SMG, I believe, is supposed to be the UMP 45 from Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, but not quite. The Procolot pistol is a 3-round burst pistol, which we've never seen in the Modern Warfare series. The D25S sniper rifle, Baird Mark 8 LMG. Rangers shotguns, which were in Modern Warfare 2 as an akimbo shotgun attachment. S-TAC Aggressor, which is something of a cross between the MSR from Modern Warfare 3 and the Intervention from Modern Warfare 2. The BR9 pistol is one of those new weapons. The Pkp Sd SMG is one of those new weapons. And of course the Lynx CQ300 assault rifle, which is loosely based on the Call of Duty Ghosts Honey Badger. Those are all the existing weapons in Modern Warfare Remastered, some of them a lot more wacky than others, especially those melee items. Of course, melee weapons were never originally in Modern Warfare Remastered, and they were never really originally in Modern Warfare 2 or 3 either. And so we can't compare those as well, but there are so many better options for these ranged weapons than what we have in the game. Let's talk about those 3 most recent weapons. I wasn't able to do a supply drop opening this week for those new weapons. I don't have enough depot credits. I'm around 240 depot credits currently. I like to have around 500 plus before I do my opening, so expect to see a new opening soon. I'll be going for that Lynx CQ300. I don't like the idea of it, but I have used it in-game, and it is absolutely astonishingly overpowered. And really, there's no better option to go for in the supply drop system currently. So I will be opening up some supply drops very soon with my depot credits, so expect to see that one on the horizon. But until then, let's just talk about these 3 weapons because it will be a little while before I get my hands on them in gameplay for you guys. The BR9 is a modernized Luger Parabellum. The Luger, if you didn't know, is that super iconic World War II German handgun. This one was used by a majority of infantry in World War II in Germany, of course, and we'll see this weapon a lot in Call of Duty World War II, if I'm not mistaken. This weapon is seen in a lot of movies, TV shows, and it really doesn't suit a modern setting. It's a World War II weapon, and the way that they've modernized it for the game is really quite goofy. The Pkp Sd 9 is really just a rehash of the Procolot handgun, but it's like an SMG version. So they've taken the Procolot and they've put an SMG frame on it. It's like a modified SMG casing for the Procolot pistol. It's literally the Procolot pistol again, but inside an SMG housing. And then last but not least, the Lynx CQ300 again is the Ghosts Honey Badger, which is a super high-tech kind of weapon in terms of modernized Call of Duty games. But this time around, it doesn't have a suppressor on it. So it's still really goofy, it's really weird looking, and not really too suiting of Modern Warfare Remastered, because I think Call of Duty 4 and the Modern Warfare series was the closest we've ever had to a realistic Call of Duty game. Yes, the action set pieces were pretty weird and stuff, and we had some crazy things happening in multiplayer, but in terms of the weapons, in terms of the engagements, the maps, everything was a little more realistic. There weren't too many goofy encounters, there weren't too many goofy weapons like we see nowadays in Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3, games like that where they can really be more creative. These weapons in the Modern Warfare franchise were based loosely off of real-life weaponry, and then when they're adding in these crazy DLC weapons like a modernized Luger, like, it's just not right. And I think even if they weren't going to do that massive mashup of all 3 Modern Warfare titles, it would have been smart of the developers to just add in other weapons from the Modern Warfare games. For example, I have 2 full lists of all of the weapons that haven't been used for Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 3 yet, not including those look-alike kind of weapons like the S-TAC Aggressor and Fang 45. For the sake of saving some time, I'll give you my top choices from Modern Warfare 2, the FAMAS, Scar H, the FNFAL because the XM-LAR is absolutely nothing like it, the fan favorite ACR, the Real Intervention in UMP45, the SPAS 12, the Model 1887, the Real Striker, maybe the G18, PP2000, M93 Raffica machine pistols. In Modern Warfare 3, we had the FAD, the Type 95, the CM901, PP90M1, the fan favorite MP7, the MG36 would have been a nice addition, maybe the KSG12, the FMG9, the 5.7, the P99, something like that. But there are a lot of options here, and I'm not sure why Raven Software went about making their own new spins on weapons that they already have the rights to. It's just very confusing why they would do that. Add some weapons that were in previous games and add other weapons that are inspired by previous games and then add other entirely new. It's just very strange and I don't really like it. Let me know what you think about the supply drop weapon situation in Modern Warfare Remastered in the comment section down below. While you're there, drop me a like and I'll catch you guys on the next video.